All right, well, welcome back. Here we are at the Vecchio's Performance Center with John Tarkington. John, the name Esoles, people in the cycling industry may be familiar. I know it was involved with the 5280 team, the feeder team in the TIA Craft, which is now Slipstream Sports. Obviously, there's a big industry inserts or insoles. Specialized has the body geometry. I know A-Line's in the market. This is sort of the highest end. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fully custom footbed, which is a step above A-Line or Specialized. It's fully custom fit to your foot, so your foot fits the insole perfectly, and then your foot is completely supported and corrected with that insole.
Is this cycling specific? Oh, I guess I just answered the question. It says there walking, cycling, running, skiing, leisure, golf.
Just about anything you can imagine. They do special designs for each one.
All right, well, can you just give us, let's just maybe use my feet as an example and give us a quick walkthrough?
Sure, hop on up and let's take a look. All right, well, what we do over here is we do a pretty comprehensive evaluation of your feet. We take a look at your forefoot, your rear foot. We measure your arch height anatomically and then compensated. We take several measurements, also do your foot size, and all that contributes to how we take a scan of your foot. And so the scanning process is pretty interesting. I think the evaluation does a great job of leading into the scan. And so, but why don't we, since the scan is definitely the most interesting, why don't we try one here with your left foot.
Now tell us what's happening here, because this feels like a balloon is inflating.
So what this is there's a laser on the bottom of the box, and it scans the bottom of your foot, and this biodynamic air pillow is here to support the structure of your foot. Normally when you're taking an impression for a custom orthotic, it involves pushing down and thus changing the structure of your foot. This way it's supported. Any pressure you apply is being pushed against with the pillow, so you end up with a fully supported picture of the foot. So we'll fill this up, get you lined up a little bit.
Now, does it matter that I'm sitting? Because when I'm riding my bike, my leg's in a different position.
We do want you sitting. We do want it unweighted, and that way it is the natural contour of your foot. When you're actually riding, you do not want your foot to collapse, because a lot of the time that's just power wasted. You know, when the two arches of your foot collapse inside your shoe and then spring back up, energy wasted. It's not, and oftentimes that'll lead to more problems in the future. And basically, when you support all that, it increases the contact area between your foot and your pedal.
Can you tell me what you see with this scan here? What it's telling you about my foot?
Well, when I look at this scan, I'm realizing I'd probably do your scan again, because it's not the most balanced scan. The scan picture that comes up that we review has the distance from the laser to your foot, so we're able to kind of evaluate where your foot is placed in relation to the laser, and in that way we can take a pretty good guess on how that's going to look when it comes out of production.
All right, so what does the scan we just did, what does that tell you about my foot?
Well, it backs up what we found in the evaluation. If we take a look here, you've got a nice lateral arch on the outside of your foot, and then here's your medial arch, nice and big and high, and you have a teeny bit of forefoot varus, and it's kind of clear because you're lacking a big red area here where your first metatarsal normally lies. So that's something that the insole will accommodate for in the forefoot, and in general looks okay.
I guess my question is, with this scan, how would if you were to make an insole for cycling, how would that differ than an insole for golf or an insole for running?
Now, the difference is they'll use the same scan for most all of those activities, but what they do is they change the top coat, and they will also change a few other layers in between. A golf insole will have a special super soft area in order to facilitate the roll in your swing when you're rolling your foot out. And then court sports will have a whole foam layer underneath to absorb shock. Water sports have a waterproof top coat. And then finally, a lot of the fitness and running ones will have a top coat that's ecstatic, so it kind of negates a lot of those smells you usually get out of your shoes.
One problem I have had in the past with insoles is that you put them in your shoe and all of a sudden your shoe doesn't fit anymore because they're always so much bigger than the insole that comes with the shoe. So is this the type of thing where you would need to do this before you bought a pair, or would you bring your shoe in and try to make it fit? How does that work?
It can go either way. A lot of the time, it's best if you're going to buy a new pair of shoes and you're thinking about insoles, is to do the insoles before you do the shoes. Also, if you do have a pair of shoes you love and you're set on, most people have that, we can actually customize the insole, the underside, to fit the contour of your shoe. Esoles always come finished to the last cutout, so it fits in there just right. Sometimes there'll be a little bit of contour or, like you mentioned, volume issues just with the foot itself. In that case, we can just sand down the bottom part of the insole to make it thinner and take up a little bit less space. The cost ranges at different areas around the country. I think there's 11 different states that have Esoles dealerships, and for us, we charge a $30 scan fee, and then the insoles themselves are $250 unless you buy 2 or more, in which they're $225. And we really encourage people, especially if they have any sort of issue that we uncover in the evaluation, to think about 2 pairs, just because if you're using it on your bike and your foot adapts to it, it's going to want it in a lot of other situations as well. And really supporting your foot is a huge component of just a healthy, everyday, good-feeling lifestyle.
Well, how about you? I see you wearing, it looks like just some tennis shoes there. I can't quite check the brand, but...
Yeah. These are not the most supportive shoes in the world.
So
but
you're wearing...
I always have an Esole in there. Ever since I started, I really don't think I can ever go back. I mean, I have some feet that had issues that for years caused me problems. I remember riding up Oak Glen one year in Redlands and having my shoes all the way loosened and pedaling with my toes pointed straight down. It was the most painful experience on my bike ever.
Well, yeah, I mean, that gets back to the benefit. I mean, the benefit of these, finish the sentence for me, the benefit of having Esoles in your cycling shoe is?
It will almost certainly, you will have almost no foot pain. You know, once you adjust to them and once they're set up correctly, they'll be the best things. Your feet will be comfortable, you'll have efficient power transfer, and generally it'll increase your cycling enjoyment somewhat. How
long does one of these last? I mean, is it a year, is it 2 years, is it a lifetime warranty? I mean,
these guys will typically last, it depends on obviously how much you use them, but 4 to 5 years if it's well taken care of.
Beyond the association with like the 5280 team last year, I mean, who else uses these?
Well, Esoles is used by Floyd Landis, currently a little bit not racing, but also George Hincapie uses Esoles. Dave Zabriskie is another Esoles athlete, and you can find a full list of all the professional athletes that use Esoles at esoles.com.
All right, well, you said that it's available in 11 states, so that's roughly 20% of the U.S. So if I'm watching this, say, in Missouri, I mean, what do I do? Do I need to fly somewhere where there's an Esoles testing facility?
Yeah, there's a couple options. Go to esoles.com and find where the nearest Esoles dealership is, and they'll be able to scan you there. Occasionally dealerships, we're planning on attending quite a few events this summer. The setup is relatively portable, so sometimes they'll be at events in your area, and it's always worth checking with the Esoles company on that. And all the insoles are actually manufactured at the home in Arizona, and so if you're ever in the greater Phoenix, Scottsdale area, that's Esoles Central.
So have you ever actually had anyone come to the Vecchio's Performance Center and say...
We have. We've had people from Florida, we've had people from Idaho, we've had people from all up and down the Front Range, and it's growing fast for the limited amount of marketing that we're doing, and we're excited about it. I actually got to visit Esoles Central this spring, and I was really impressed with the setup they have there. So we're excited about it, and we're kind of hoping the cycling community and everyone, basically Boulder's general community, finds them soon.